So we'll see like how it all goes. Hi, yay, we're
Hi.
live. All right. So this is exactly who you guys thought you'd see today. Super happy about that.
Yes.
This is Miss Sarah, and this is
Hi.
Miss Valerie,
Hi.
and this is Miss Lucinda.
Hi.
Hi guys. Hi. Yeah, it's nice to see you guys. We were briefly talking about moods and higher self and how we
Uh-huh.
would get connected and different things like that. So should we share like basic practices?
Yeah.
Come up here. Yeah. Should we share basic practices?
Sure. Sounds good.
I think we should.
Yeah.
Okay, so what are some of your basic practices then?
I meditate every day. That's a big one for me.
Okay, and what do you
And
find best? How do you
I
meditate?
didn't know anything about meditation. I just thought that it was so overwhelming because I couldn't get out of my own head. And I thought meditation was a practice where you had to be completely clear. And I didn't think that was even possible because we have our life. Everything's so just I call it like a freeway. We're here, we're here, we're here, we're here. Just there's so much going on and it's hard to just focus. And I said, that's not something that I'm able to do because I'm thinking about my daughter, the dinner on the table, the this, the that. Like it's hard to get into that mindset. So I didn't do it because I didn't think it was for me. I thought that was for other types of people that are able to do that. That was a gift that I do not have.
Okay.
And as time went on and I started getting deeper into my spirituality, I realized that, you know what, maybe I need to try a little bit more and allow some of the freeway noise to enter, but think it and let it go away. And then bring in my serenity or my inner peace and my breath. I turn some music on because that helps set the stage and it keeps me focused on something without nothing. Silence is difficult. So I put a little bit of meditation music on. I go in with my nose, out with my mouth, do my deep breathing. So that's what my mind is focusing on. And I allow if something comes in and I release it and then I bring myself back to center. So that has helped me a lot. And I allow myself to be human and focusing on my inner breathing and my inner breath. It brings me into my heart center as opposed to my being all up in my head. I'm more in here. So as I'm going on about my days, I'm able to kind of take a step outside of my life if I'm dealing with a thing and it's a little much, a little stressful or whatever. I'm able to breathe in, breathe out. I do that about 3 times. I'm in a light meditative state even though I'm in awareness. And I'm able to kind of get my answers with more clarity, and I'm bringing myself into my heart center. So instead of being all I'm more here. So that's how meditation has helped me. I don't expect myself to be meditating all day long for hours upon hours, but just starting with a few minutes and going up to 10, 20 minutes, even 20 minutes at night, I do. It makes a world of a difference. So that's my biggest hugest thing.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That takes a lot of focus.
It does, huh?
Mm-hmm.
It does. But yeah.
My meditation practice is dancing.
That's amazing. I love that. Yes.
I've done a lot of dancing in the last few days, and so
Good.
yeah, and so dancing has helped me to release a lot of stagnant energy. I
Yeah.
think that like when we talk about meditation, that we have like a lot of different perceptions of it, right? And I think that most of what it is that we're meditating all day, every day, and we don't give it the recognition that we could. And so it's having a focus of something and staying in that focus. And when something else tries to come, an intrusive thought or something like that, you just recognize that that's not what you're doing and you let it go whenever you can come back to it.
Right.
Definitely. With dancing too, it seems a lot like active meditation.
Right.
And I learned that too. Like I can't just sit and be quiet. I have to kind of be doing something. Even driving is a bit meditative for me because a lot of thoughts can kind of come in and I can process it. So I get it where it's beneficial for some people to be active with their meditation and then other times for them to be like quiet, go within, sit still. especially when you're doing that practice. I think over time you can kind of check in with yourself and see, wow, I'm sitting still, or like I'm consistent on these times. When you have a practice, you can kind of see your progression in it.
Yes, that's perfect. That's what I do. I do that too. I also like to go outside and ground and putting my feet in the earth. And Lucinda's helped me with that and taught me the beauty of that actually. And I've been able to release a lot of stagnant energy that way, and reconnecting with being outside and just feeling more in a just nature. Even though it's my backyard, it's the earth, and putting my feet in the earth has really allowed me to kind of release any of the things that don't belong to me. I just put it back into the earth, and just the mindset and knowing that that's what I'm doing. I'm starting my day fresh, and I'm able to just kind of, okay, I'm a new me, and I get to give everybody the best version of me today because I said so and I released it. So it's the intentions. Yes.
Definitely. Do you see yourself doing that more often? Like, it's as you progress in your process, does it get even easier or funner?
What do you mean, like with my grounding?
Yeah, with your grounding and your meditation, because it seems like you're doing these things daily. So what have you
Okay.
seen kind of
I
come up?
start my day off without grounding first. I ground every day, and that's the first thing I do. Typically, it's before I start my work day. I always make sure I go outside and I release. So I'm able to give everyone a clean slate, a good for like a fresh me. I'm not putting any of my old crap on anybody else. It's gone. And I do that and it works for me because I said it works. And so I mindfully put it into the ground, and I'm like, okay, we're good. That doesn't mean I'm not human, and doesn't mean that, it doesn't stop things from happening to me, right? Like life is life, right? But I'm
Right.
able to be more of a mindful person. And so when things do happen, I am more mindful about it instead of as reactive. I'm more not reactive. I act in a mindful way, a heart-centered way. But yes, it's way, 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 way easier. It was kind of awkward in the beginning because I didn't really know what I was doing. But as I kind of went on, I made my own practice. And so it's Sarah's way. And so I do it my way. And my way works. Yes, it does. It works for me. It doesn't mean I can ask other people. I can watch other people doing it. But yes, I'll take a little bit from this, and this, but then I create it to be my way. And then it's just easy, and it flows, and it works. So, yeah.
Do you feel that you get like when it feels, okay, so now we're in our sensory awareness, right? So since we're in our sensory awareness, I'm going to mute your mic, okay? Okay. We're in our sensory awareness, and since we're in our sensory awareness, we're in our feels, right? And as we're in our feels, there are certain times that we will be led through a thought action sequence of feeling, right? And in that, we're connecting to the experience in that way. And what I wanted to know is, like, do you feel more than you think in an experience? Have you does that make sense, that question? Do you feel more or think more when you're in an
I
experience?
used to think a lot, and I used to be an overthinker. I don't overthink anymore because I allow everything to come in through my heart center. So if for some reason, I'm a control freak, but not like in a bad way. Like I'm not like a mean person kind of control freak, but I am a control freak. I like things to be a certain way. Like I'm that girl that like my house has everything a specific way, and if it's turned this way and not this way, I'm like, oh God, like
I've already reached across her for my phone. I've adjusted everything over here so I'm comfortable. I'm not a control freak.
Like when I do classes with you, like I completely understand you, Lucinda. Like when you have things specifically set out and you're like, oh, don't touch that. Like we have to move it this way. I had it that way for a reason. Like I get it. Like, and you apologize. I'm like, why are you apologizing? Like my life is like that. Like that's who I am. So I get it. Like, I'm the same way. Like, I put that leaf there specifically because it had a purpose, and like you
Right.
just proved it. So, F
Yeah,
off.
nobody will ever come to a class again, but that's good.
No.
If
No,
you
it's
walk
when
in,
we're
well,
setting it
you know
up.
what's really cool? Here's what's really cool. I went to a bear dance ceremony. All right. A bear dance ceremony, and it was a healing. It's a healing, okay?
Mhm.
It is a native. It's an indigenous practice, all right? And so,
Is it
the elders who are the bears, all right, go into a sweat lodge and they sweat for the day, and then they wear the bear skins. Bear skins bring medicine, and the medicine comes through the dance. And the dance is around a huge fire with like a lot of sage, all right? And there's this one area in Long Beach, on Long Beach City College, or on the college, just one little corner that's left that is allowed for them to have their ceremony. And so I was invited by a friend, a really good friend, and I went there with Manuel and Ashley, and we watched the ceremony and we got to participate in it. When you walk in to that space, they have like poles that go up like this, and they're tied at the top. When you're getting ready to go into that space, you have to turn around
Mhm.
and let go. You have to unwind where you've been to walk in.
Yeah.
Okay. And so, yeah, so I really love the symmetry of that with like
Yeah.
our lives. It's like where you just settle for who you are in that moment, and you come into yourself, and then you can walk in. And then when you walk in order to sit, like let's say you're facing where the main event is going to be, and then there's going to be seating all the way around the event, okay? And you see seats way over here, right? You
Mhm.
have to enter from this side and go all the way around, because there's an energy.
The
There's an
energy.
energy.
Yeah. That's what
Yeah.
I was gonna say. Like, it's an energy, and I didn't understand
Yes.
that a long time ago. Like when I
Very
first started.
specific.
Yeah.
It's very specific,
Yeah.
and it's a level of respect to where you are following traditions and customs that have been laid down for thousands of years. And in these practices, you're connecting to the earth stewardship that they're providing you. Through that earth stewardship, they're allowing the animal totem, the bear, to come through with people who have studied the medicine of the bear. And they come and they bring all of the aspects of the bear, the healing, how it lumbers, how it hibernates. All right, so it brings all the connotation through it. And when they dance in the circle, the fire is huge, right? So fire is very cleansing. And then they'll light the sage, and the sage looks like they have like smokers in their hands, right? Because
Yeah.
there's so much smoke. And then the first circle starts like this around the fire, and then it breaks into another circle because people keep coming in, and then it keeps going around like this. So the medicine wheel is created inside of the cemetery. All right, so you have the hub, and then you have one direction, then another direction, then another direction, then another direction, then another direction. It's really cool. Yeah, it's I am so grateful that I was able to like be there. But yeah, specific practices need specific energy because there's a specific intention. You're connecting to things that are in stewardship of you, as you're in stewardship in relation to them. And
Yeah.
so yeah, so when we come into different practices, right? And then we might assign that to a mood. Oh yeah, she's in a mood, right?
Mhm.
Before we come into the spiritual practice, right, and we understand its intention, we might ascribe it to like, oh, they're in the mood, just do what they say, it'll be fine, right? And we're not really looking to see the reason that they are creating it in the way that they're creating it. We're
Right.
thinking that, oh yeah, this is just part of it. Of course, we're going to have candles on the cake because it's a party, and we're not really paying attention to the intention where we're celebrating this year that you've just completed, right?
Yes.
I think it's for a new year.
Yeah.
You've just completed that year.
Yeah.
It's like, thank God you made it home. So
Yes.
yeah.
Yeah, everything is energy, and that's something that I never knew before. I mean, I've heard it. We hear it. We hear about energy, and a lot of people are kind of just like, oh, what is that? Oh, okay, whatever, and they go about their life. And then when I started to dabble in it more, like really wanting to understand it, it made a lot of sense to me. It really made me go, oh, okay. I kind of I'm understanding where they're coming from, or why this is the way that it is. Like, that makes sense. And then I started creating my own practices, or what is going on in the moon cycles, or I wanted to learn more about it. And I didn't know. I mean, you hear that moon has energy, but why though? Or like, what's the purpose, and what kind of energy is it releasing, or what are you manifesting? What do you want to put out? What do you want to bring in? And then you can kind of create your own little thing and your own intention, and it's like a battery. Like, it has a lot of energy in it. So when you set that intention, you're more apt to put forth the efforts on your own self to create what you're wanting. So because there's like that battery pack, there's that energy
That
pack, and it
inspired
gives
action.
motivation. So you
Yeah.
can create your own little um like little thing, like a little circle, or like a little water thing, or your little ritual that you want to do. And it could be your own thing that you say that that's what that's going to do. And that intention is now out there. And then you're more apt to do it, because it really does come from in here. Because you get the help from, the universe is going to help you. And if you're fully heart centered and you have that energy, like you're working with that energy, and you're putting forth that effort, it's inevitable. You're going to end up getting what you want. And because you're putting yourself in that correct alignment. And I didn't understand that. And as I started practicing it more and really working with it, and things started happening, and I was getting everything I was asking for, because I was intentionally putting myself in that correct alignment. So everything was all fluid for me. My life is very fluid. I'm still a student of the universe. I'm still working, and I will forever be a student of the universe, forever and ever, and probably in all my other lifetimes as well. And so I never ever say that I know all. I don't know a damn thing. And so, but I'm enjoying. And when your question was, is it fun for me? Absolutely, because I am in control. I am the one that's doing it. I am the co-creator with the universe. And that's what finally I realized. And it was like, zing, I can do it. It's coming from in here. So at first I was up here. I brought
It cut
myself.
out, so we're just waiting for you to populate again. That's what you finally realize. That's where we're at. So when you want to start there, that'll probably work. Okay.
What's that?
When
What?
I finally realized.
I finally realized what?
I
I don't know what
That's
you're
what we
talking about.
wanted to know. That's where it cut out.
Oh, I cut out? Is my
Yeah, it cut out right there. And I finally realized, and then you just went, you ghosted us.
I'm sorry. I don't know. It looks like it's working on my end. I finally well, what I said is I finally
Your higher self left and took a beverage.
I'm sorry. I don't know. I guess I
It's us too.
Oh no. Is it not working?
Us too.
We came right back though.
We came right back.
Okay. Can you hear me?
You know what it must be? It must be like the satellites adjusting, right?
Yeah.
So at 2:00 in the afternoon, we should not have a show. Or let's just adjust the satellites quicker.
Create it. I don't know. Was I talking to myself the whole time?
No, not the whole time.
No, it was just in that most peculiar moment when you said,
I don't know.
I realized,
I don't know.
You were like this.
What I was just saying, what I realized is that I don't know if this is the part, but I said, like, I realized that I am like the co-creator of the universe. So what I set out to do, my intentions, my energy that I put out, did it cut out again?
Yes.
Oh.
Absolutely. See, because you're giving away too many secrets. They don't want these secrets really told.
Oh, no.
They want them told, but like, this is for an audience that's willing to hear it, right?
Oh.
And so, like, if you were to reframe it and say, what I finally realized, like, really maybe what it was is what I finally let go of that was limiting me to accept this truth, right?
Right.
and
Yeah.
that's probably more accurate, right?
Okay.
So what do you think? What was that precipice that you jumped off of into the unknown? Like what said just do it?
Um, I didn't like who I was before. I knew that I could be a better human. Like, I didn't like my anxiety. I didn't like some of the ways that I was living my life on a daily. I felt like I was living my life anxiety ridden. I could tell by physical attributes of myself. And I was, not sleeping very well. Just like I wasn't in a Zen state, I guess you can say. I'm always gonna be me. I'm very like, just high energy and blah, 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 and whatever. That's never gonna change. I just feel like I'm more mindful. So before I wasn't. And so I knew that there was a reason or a way for me to not be there like anymore. And I needed to figure out how. And so I was more open to learning more. And I knew that it was in that realm. It was in that part of a different, instead of being so, like I said, like up in here, I was like, there's something more internal that I can really work on that's going to get me into a place of more of a peace and serenity in my life. And when I am more mindful in that way, I'm able to just have more fluidity. Things just kind of flow with more ease because I'm not so reactive. I'm just like, and I notice I'm like anxious. I'm like anxiously reacting. I'm not mindfully acting. I guess you can say.
Yeah, that's like a really good way to look at it.
And do you
Yeah.
catch yourself maybe falling into like the old pattern? How do you stay away from that, or how do you get yourself out of that?
Yeah, I mean, it's again, like I give myself grace because I am a human. So it's just part of who we are. So again, like it's not going to stop anything bad from happening to me. I mean, or negative things happening. I mean, it's life, right? It's just how you work with it. So
Amen.
because I'm more mindful with it, because I'm aware of it, I stop myself. I'm like, oh, that's kind of like, it feels not like the normal flow that I'm now in. It feels kind of stagnant. I feel like I have a block, and I'm like, okay, this isn't the new me. This is kind of falling back in the old me. I could just feel it. That's what you were saying, like the feelings part. When I start getting more into a different way of living in a more mindful, a more heart-centered way, I am more of the feels. So when I feel like there's like a block or something, I notice it quicker. So I go back to a quick little meditation, not a deep meditation, a very light meditation, 3 big deep breaths in and out, and I'm able to kind of recenter myself, and then I'm able to think a little bit more with more clarity. It's just a fast, quick little snap in my, okay, I'm back. That kind of a thing. It's fast, and that's why I like to meditate every night, or I ground and I meditate. I do that a lot because I'm training myself to be able to get into a mind-centered, breathing in and out place. So when I do find myself falling back into those old patterns, I know how to get myself back into a more of a flowed state. Does that make sense? I'm kind of like I'm retraining my brain in my heart center to like go back into more flow.
Yes.
Yeah, that's really good. What about you, Val? What are your practices?
Basic practices?
Basic practices.
I eat a cookie to ground.
I like that.
I love that.
Cannabis, right? Okay, go ahead.
That's a different type of grounding.
Earth-based.
That's
Go
like
ahead.
you're here, but you're gone.
Okay, all right.
But I found that food is a really good way for me to ground. And for me, it's like, oh, I'll have a cookie. And sometimes it's a healthy cookie. Other times it's like, oh no, this has a lot of frosting on it and it's going to be good. Things like that. But that's like my basic grounding practice because I'm very much on the run a lot. I'm very productive. I say it all with like a lot of feeling. We're working on letting that go. We're working on accepting. And like you said, grace, because catching the speed of my life. But anyways.
It's like catching the speed of light. It is. If you're trying to catch up with your life, you're trying to catch up with the speed of light. keep that in mind,
Yes.
right?
That's awesome. Yes.
So I would say eating a cookie and dancing.
And dancing. Do you dance every day still?
Yes.
I dance every day. I dance every day, which I don't normally tell anybody. and and sometimes I can dance for an extended period of time because my body really needs it. The other day I did like 3.5 hours of dance because my body really needed it. What else do you do to start your day?
Well, it's funny. I'm gonna go back to the dancing thing because I dance a lot. Like I love to dance, but what I did is I had it as a practice. So I said, okay, day one, I'm dancing. I posted on my personal Instagram. Then I started going and going. So now I'm on day 163, 163.
Wow.
And I've seen like the changes. I've seen the fluidity in my body. Then between clients, I will dance. And then sometimes that's when I'm like, yeah, get that stuff off my shoulders. And like you said, be fresh for the next one. But that's what I mean by like going into dancing and changing it into a practice rather than it just being very sporadic.
Oh yeah.
So I did more of that intention of it, of like, this is how you're going to start your day with dancing. But I wanted to say that because I understood that me doing that had it become more of an embodiment. And it wasn't like loosey goosey.
Mine's not loosey goosey, but it's okay. Unless you watch me. If you watch me, hey, you know, I never know what it comes across your
Well,
mind.
it's your name. So.
Yeah, loosey goosey. I used to be called that a lot. Loosey goosey with the juicy pussy. That's where I grew up.
No, I was Val, you smell.
Oh my God, man. So many lovely
Did you have
memories.
Sarah?
Oh,
No,
hers was
I
probably
didn't.
cute. Hers was probably cute.
It's probably what?
Cute.
I don't have any.
Nobody
My
called
name
you
is-
names in school. Sarah,
No, Sarah. There's nothing. No.
that
There's
rhymes with it. No, yep. Probably should have
No.
thought that one out.
No.
Okay, parents, now you know. Now you know, right? If anything rhymes with a name, don't fucking name us that.
Yeah.
They made a rhyme out of my name.
They made, oh yeah.
See?
Well, we had,
Cleverness.
at the time we had that, like Jerry, Bowberry, Fee Fi, Fairy, Jerry.
Yeah.
So, like, we had that. And so like we were,
Yeah.
we were just making that shit up. So that was okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so for me, my practices are I open my eyes and I try my best to pull in gratitude. I usually take a really deep breath and I seat myself into my body because I can feel myself coming back from like my dream state or my nocturnal awareness, right? Heck yeah, my dark awareness. And there's some aspects that I've been working on that maybe I don't want to bring into this awareness right away. Maybe I'm not ready to. And I usually look at my alarm clock that tells me the time that I've set it for. And I'm like, did I really do that? Or is this just a joke? Is this a pattern I'm starting, right? And so it's kind of like I ask myself, what is it that I want to do with my life today? And that's really what that question is. What are you planning? What are you allowing? Where are you at with that? And I'm learning to, once again, put my phone aside and not do anything but me first. Me first.
Yeah.
Well, because you get used to it. Because throughout the day, you're looking at your phone because somebody might want to cancel, somebody might want to schedule. So you're constantly, trying to build your schedule. And it's difficult if you know that you're going to work and you have somebody on your schedule. So let's say, ring, ring, ring. Oh God, it's time to get up. Okay, great. What do I have to do today? What do I have to do today? And this isn't going to satisfy you. It's going to take you out of who you are. And that was something that I had to learn over and over and over again. And I can't tell you that I'm perfect at it because sometimes I have so much on my mind when I wake up because I don't bother clearing myself before I go to sleep. I'll clear space before, I'll clear spaces and stuff like that. But am I clearing myself in that space?
I have a trick for that.
Well, I do too, but go ahead. But the trick is to do it.
I light a tea light
Oh, okay.
And then I go to bed.
Oh Lord, I don't know if I could. Yeah, I could probably.
Well, because I'm a fire sign.
Oh yeah, that makes sense.
So
and
then
fire's
it's
very
like-
cleansing.
It's like cleanse me from the day.
I like that. That's a great intention. So I like Dawn taught me the whiteboard clearing, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so if I give myself grace, you know how we were talking about grace, and I'm not in a moment of I have so much that I have to do in my mind, and that's my story. I have so much that I have to do. If that's my mind and story, it's going to be a crapshoot at trying to let go of that focus. Even if no matter what I do, because I'm going to hold on to things to work on them throughout the night in lucid dreaming. When I wake up, I'll still be in the energy. So sometimes maybe I'm not clearing the pattern because I'm working on it and I'm still in the experience of it. And that's natural to us. So when I'm ready to go to sleep, here's how I clear. I'm just going to share this with everybody. All right. I lay on my side and I extend my left arm out like this. And I say, I'm out of here. And I go like this. And I go, fuck this shit. And I go to sleep. And that's how I clear. That's how I clear every night.
And that's what I was saying earlier. That's what I do. I do things like my own way, and then they work because they say they work.
You're Superman. You're Superman.
I fucking kid you not. Because I'll draw that right leg up like I am flying, bitch. Here we go. I'm sorry, I keep putting it in front of you. So yeah, so there's that. Yeah. And so, but I know that, so I think that mostly what it is that we are allowing ourselves to understand that we're coming to the end of our 24-hour period that we've given ourselves. And this is how we spend our time, or however you want to look at it. But I think that the intention to just let go of all that is in that moment, right? No matter what your practice is, I think that is what's going to give you a good reset. If I'm trying to stretch out and I'm like, yeah, I got to make those arrangements tomorrow. That's what I'm dreaming about, bitch.
Yeah.
I'm dreaming about how I'm going to be able to solve that. And you're just going to give me a solution. That's what I do, though. I ask for a solution. So, people are talking about not sleeping, and I'm like, wow, what's the hub?
Yeah, it's a noisy freeway.
Get out of her mouth.
Right?
Get it out of her mouth. Sorry.
Everybody's okay? Nobody's dying.
No, Lilo had a toy in her mouth, like one of Ava's things, and I didn't want her to on it. So
no worries.
Sorry,
Just
Mama Bear came out.
That's all right. Hi. There we are, the puppy.
Yeah.
The puppy.
Little babe.
Okay, so that affects our moods. Sleep cycles affect our moods, our practices, our basic practices. So when we get thrown off, right? This morning I felt thrown off. Did anybody else felt thrown off this morning?
Yeah.
I really felt thrown off.
Yeah, a little bit. I actually did. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And I thought, well, I wonder if it's only me. Okay. But it felt like it was in the air. Does that make sense?
Yep.
And the air felt like it was not anger, not stress, frustration. It felt like frustration this morning. I woke up into frustration. That's what it felt like. Like there was resistance.
Mm-hmm.
Frustrated over trying to get something done and it wasn't done. And
I felt like that too.
I didn't have anything like that I didn't have anything like that. So I think frustrated is the word that I had this morning.
I woke up with lack. So I did stuff to remind myself and to show myself like there is a lot. It's not, you're lacking.
Okay. So frustration would be that same thing. Frustration over not having. So
it could
You know how we try to use like core words to describe, so that way we get to the heart of whatever it is, because we've all done shadow work, right?
Yeah.
So maybe we're going to have other words that describe those same core values, right? Lack is going to represent itself as abandonment, okay? And we'll use the word lack because we don't have. Do you understand? But we don't realize that we had it at one time and we knew what it felt like, and now it's not with us any longer. And that's the lack that we're feeling, okay? And that's abandonment. So when
Yeah.
you look at it that way, you can start to look to see if you're pushing it away from you because you're not ready to receive it, right? Maybe you're not going to allow yourself to let it come in. But this morning, I felt like, I don't know, I felt like tired energy, and I cleared spirit. And then it wasn't cosmic, and it was just like the entrainment that the world's in right now. And there's like this, we all want everything to end. Quit the killing. That's what we want. Just quit the killing, and then let's sort it out.
Mm-hmm.
That's it.
Yeah.
Just stop doing that, and then we'll talk. Let's talk.
Right.
What a novel idea. Let's go ahead and talk. Nobody's talking. So I think that that's a lot of like what we're feeling. You know, I think that's a lot of it, and I don't think that we're watching a lot of social media. Social media is now, the algorithms are feeding us directly in such a way that it's ridiculous. To where you watch one thing, and if you watch something for a longer than an impression amount of time, you start having all of that on your feed, no matter what it is. If you repost something, then you're going to get that whole genre in your feed, right? And I was thinking to myself, I said, I think that I have almost put enough distortion into the atmosphere to where people are uncomfortable. Okay. And that's when people desire change, when we have this much pain. So, what kind of change are you really looking for, right? Okay. What kind of change are you looking for? Because this is what we have going on, and we have to recognize, to reconcile, that we see it as it is, and then what do we want to change about it? We got all there just from being frustrated this morning. Okay, I'm all done. Thank you for the soapbox. That was a lot. I'm so sorry.
You're fine. No, that was great.
I think that is like
Drinks,
what we're all.
come over here.
That's
We need some.
I think that's what we're feeling, right? Is that we're feeling the weight of the powerlessness that we have in the mass, and that isn't an actuality. And since we know it isn't a truth, it's difficult for us because we don't know. We are in this same boat that a lot of people in programs are. All right, they get taught a body of work, and this body of work has helped them to change their lifestyle. And now they know that they don't have to do this whole body of work anymore to stay in this beautiful lifestyle, but they're not sure which part of this body of work to get rid of to maintain this beautiful lifestyle. And so that's where we're at. We want to stay as we are, but we want that to change. But that's not how it works. We have to change right along with it. And if we're not willing to change, that won't change.
Right.
So we have to speak up. We have to do like a lot of stuff. And it's uncomfortable. It's uncomfortable because our government is telling us that they will arrest us for treason, for saying stupid shit that they have deemed, that's it, in a very authoritarian way, to not be okay. Just straight across the board, if you say something, this is not okay. And I for me, that doesn't make any sense, right? Like, they're really angry. I watched this other thing the other day. They were angry at the students, right? And this is such a good point. They were angry at the students for occupying space that they didn't belong in. Can you imagine that? The authoritarian nation who did just that was upset because students are occupying space they're not supposed to.
Mm.
So they're going to call the popo. They're going to call the popo, and they're going to do some really dastardly things to these people. But that is exactly what took place. So why is it okay for one to be that way. Like you can't, it's like what Einstein said, you cannot fix a problem using the same strategy that got you there in the first place. You
Isn't
can't do that.
insanity?
That's right. You know, the best part about this is that we should just all hold on to our seats and watch the fucking fireworks because the United States, however that looks, okay, is in its Pluto return. So if you really look at it, we're the tea buyers. We're the tea buyers. What do you want to do? What do you want to do? Do you want to stay in this cycle of no recognition to those that came before us for real? So that way we can honor us as we honor them? Would you like that better? Would that feel better? Right? Okay. So you have to make some changes. You have to speak up. You have to speak up. That's it. We don't like that. I don't know if I'll be able to get my lavender latte from Starbucks if I speak up. Fuck Starbucks. That's how I feel.
I don't go to Starbucks.
Yay! only because of their positions politically. They have no reason to be political. No consumer agency has any reason to be political unless they are pillaging.
That's true.
That's right. It's the only reason that you hire lobbyists, so that way you can have your way. Yeah. And so you're going to pay somebody. And what, you're upset because people are taking bribes? Look what you're doing.
Mm-hmm. I just think everybody needs to be Reiki'd.
Line them up.
That's my response to that.
I love that. Okay. So Reiki, we're putting it. Let's see. Okay. R-E-I-K. Oh. I have to spell it right. It looked like I was trying to spell it like when I was looking for it the first time.
That's my answer.
That's good. Namaste. That's right.
Namaste.
Namaste online for a few minutes. Okay, so we're at 2:45. All right. So you guys, are you good? You know,
Yeah.
today was I wasn't I'm really grateful that you guys are here. This turned out really nice and I'm very happy.
I'm
And
happy.
we're gonna do like a little promo right now. Tomorrow we're gonna start our talk show in the morning, and it's gonna be creative talks. And you're just gonna like be with us, and we're gonna do whatever the fuck we want. And that's how it's gonna work. Okay, so just saying.
Good.
I love you, Sarah, and I
Love you
can't
too.
wait. Hey, we have. Is it this Friday that we have our moon?
Yes.
Okay. And this Friday, it says it's a Capricorn moon in my. It says it's a Capricorn full moon.
Mm-hmm.
It is.
It is.
Another one.
Mm-hmm.
Another one.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
And this one is in case you didn't get it right the first time.
Perfect.
That's how it feels.
I love it.
It feels like double checking your work.
Double checking your work.
That's
in case
good.
you didn't
Yeah.
get it right the first time.
That's perfect.
Two different perceptive ways to say the same thing. Oh, tonight we're doing the cosmic weather report too, so that'll be pretty fun. And then you're here on Friday to help do the ritual and ceremony, right?
Yes.
I'm excited. So it'll be earth-based. I have a really good idea. So I think it'll
Wonderful.
involve sand and stuff like that.
Awesome. I'm excited. Thank you.
You're
All
welcome. Okay. Good to talk to everybody. You guys have a great day.
Have a wonderful afternoon,